Events Librarian here with first part playthrough of Dawn of War Winter Assault. This is the sequel slash expansion to the previous game Dawn of War that I played. Now I say it's not a direct sequel in the sense that the story is not following from what happened in the first Dawn of War. So this is more of a addition. It's a different story that takes place in the setting of Warhammer 40k, but it has nothing to do with what happened in the first one. But the first thing that stands out here is that it actually shows you these will be the leaders of the factions that we will be playing as. So another big difference in this campaign is instead of playing as one faction, in the case of the Space Marines, and going through the whole campaign with them, this campaign has you split between different factions and different leaders. Now, here you see, it actually tells you it's technically split into two campaigns and two factions per each. For today, we're going to start with the Imperial Guard. Now, I have played these this whole campaign to completion, both of them, but I haven't done it on this device yet, so this file doesn't have I've only done a few missions just to test out, making sure that it can actually be played. Under the valiant General Stern, the Imperial Guard have entered orbit around the ice world Lorne 5. Their goal is simple. They must retrieve a powerful war machine called the Titan that was left behind when Chaos Marines conquered the planet from the local Imperial garrison. If General Stern's planetfall beachhead is to succeed, his forces must seize control of a defense fortress currently in the hands of Chaos. Fortunately, the Imperial Guard possess the iron will to see this undoubtedly brutal battle through to its bloody end. Just something from my perspective as someone who didn't know anything about the setting and had just played the first Dawn of War. I might have been under the false assumption that the Imperial Guard couldn't really tackle the Chaos forces. This mission does its job of breaking that assumption.
Victory in the making for our glorious Emperor.
Commissar being a commissar.
No victory here. I see but one truth, and that truth is war. This world would not even warrant our attention were it not for our prize.
Yes, the Titan Dominatus. Imagine. A great war machine forged in the volcanic foundries of Mars.
The Titan fell in the defense of this world. And the Emperors entrusted the Cadian 412th Regiment of the Imperial Guard to retrieve it. The Titan lies in the ruins of Lorne 5's principal city, Lorne. But one thing at a time. We must take the Lorne defense fortress if we hope to defeat the forces of Chaos firmly entrenched upon this world. Spread word to the men. Tell them we win this day, or we trying. There is no retreat!
Apparently the word die is being censored. So, yeah, what I meant is that in the first game, Dawn of War, the campaign sort of...
We need reinforcements, but we must capture the following strategic points to establish a safe landing zone.
There is going to be something that I want to show up. Something that'll happen very early on is... These guys have a lot of trouble taking out, very simple buildings. So, right now it's just taking out. Probably gonna lose that squad. Oh, no. I managed to survive it. So something that'll happen early on is that, you'll basically start losing troops.
Sir, yes, sir.
Very quickly.
Time for payback.
It's actually a point that the
Sir, yes, sir.
Imperial Guard are probably second only to the Orcs in terms of using a numerical advantage to, win the day.
Objective secured.
Executing your orders, yes, sir.
Now we move on to the second one. And hopefully only some of you will die this time as well.
Executing your orders, sir.
Alright, I might actually lose a squad because of how fast this thing shot him.
We've been overrun.
You'll also notice that they break morale really easily.
We're under fire.
Yep, there goes the whole squad.
Take the objective.
An entire squad of Imperial Guard got wiped out by one turret. Like, the turrets are there to defend the position, but yeah, I'm pretty sure if the Space Marines were in this situation, that wouldn't have happened. And this, I think, this first mission is done with people who play Dawn of War in mind, because if nothing, and if not that, at the very least, it's designed so that
Objective secured.
you're forced to very quickly figure out how the Imperial Guard forces work.
Executing your orders, sir.
I'm gonna set them to
Imperial Guard, attack.
blow through the gate.
Sir, yes, sir.
Then
Executing your orders, sir.
something the game also does to show that kind of hints at that is how many reinforcements and it gives you, and how many units early on it gives you.
Imperial Guard, attack. We've been overrun.
Oh, these guys got stuck with the building, I think.
We're under fire. Sir, yes, sir. Imperial Guard, attack. Concentrate your attention on those gates, but don't let the enemy outflank you. To bring the fortress, we must destroy those gates. Time for payback.
Done.
Will only take me a moment.
Okay.
A challenge.
We must
worthy of
construct
my skill.
infantry command buildings to secure our position. The reinforcements must be near the
challenge
front
worthy of
lines.
my skill.
Build them at the forward positions. Sir, yes, sir. Executing your orders, sir.
Another indication of the gap is
Time for executing your orders, sir.
how long it takes them to take out even regular units, like weaker units like the
Sir,
cultists.
yes, sir.
Because in the first mission with with the Space Marines, those cultists were almost entirely fodder. Like, sure, they could they could kill some Space Marines if they, like, ganged up on a small squad very quickly, but yeah,
It will only take me a moment.
this is the big.
We're under fire.
A challenge worthy of my skill. It will only take me a moment.
We've been
A
overrun.
challenge worthy of my skill.
Sir, yes, sir. Imperial Guard, attack.
And if the cultists give me trouble, you can imagine these guys, the actual Chaos Space Marines, put up an even harder fight. Like, I'm winning only because of the absurd numerical advantage the game deliberately gives us.
Executing your orders, sir.
If it wasn't for that, we'd still be stuck.
Yes! Tactical command is operational. We can now arm the guardsmen with better weapons. A sentinel hangar. Imperial Guard, attack! Of course. This was once an Imperial garrison. Indicate that some of the sentinels are still functional. We must save that hangar if we are to secure and use the sentinels in our favor. We're under fire! We've been overrun! Imperial Guard, attack! We've been overrun!
So once you've got these weapons,
Payback!
you know, your units have a much better chance of succeeding. Still gonna lose a couple of units because
We've been overrun!
what?
Take the objective!
I'll show very quickly what the problem is. This is the key. It actually publishes a decree that retreating in battle will be punished with death. And this actually increases their morale. It'll knock off with the running away stuff. And this is the actual getting them better armor. This one for just the guy in charge.
Imperial Guard,
And now we've got these guys, which are anti-vehicle.
we're under fire. We've been overrun. Sir, yes, sir. Executing your orders, sir. Time for payback. Yes, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
So the key is giving them.
Sir, yes, sir.
Once you've given them what they need,
Standing by.
goal is giving them as much as possible,
Sir.
keeping up with their units. Obviously, you gotta be careful because
Standing by.
you can very quickly run out of.
Imperial Guard, attack. Standing by.
You also gotta be careful with this vehicle because it's very fast, so it has a bad tendency of running off.
Standing by. Standing by. Standing by. We're under fire! Objective secured. What now? New code, sir. I shall see to it personally, sir. Standing by. I shall see to it personally, sir.
No.
I shall see to it personally, sir.
Like, these two will actually make quick work of this thing. See? If it wasn't for those guys, that would have been a much uglier fight.
Executing your orders, sir. New call,
The
sir.
main thing.
I shall see to it personally, sir.
You want to keep these guys ready in case you need them to bring down a vehicle quickly, but at least in my experience, you want to avoid keeping them in control of the fight and letting them rush off, because they'll run ahead and get into trouble with the enemy.
That central base is housing those raptors. Destroy it, and we destroy the raptor threat. Following orders.
That's my test out.
Following orders. Standing by.
Yeah, there we go. I can be another cheap bastard and put them right.
Following orders. Following orders.
Come on. There we go. I'll leave
Our
one.
forces have made planetfall and are encountering little resistance.
For all we have learned in
This is their definition of.
it is that we are singularly skilled in matters of war and mayhem. These pathetic emissaries of the ruinous mark managed to wrest Lorne 5 from the Imperial Guard. I'll never know. I shall see to it personally, sir. To arms! We're under fire!
What's the spleens? So yeah, that squad is unfortunately getting turned into fodder by the cannon blast, but
To arms!
I'm also making very short work of all of these cultists just by completely devastating them.
Pull back the arms!
Ah, nah, I get it.
I shall see to it personally, sir.
There we go. That's another way.
To arms!
Another way. So yeah, I'm still not doing super well because
I shall see to it personally, sir.
my troops are getting caught in the blast.
To arms!
No, correct.
Leave it overrun!
So you guys probably aren't gonna make it. But once these guys show up, they'll make sure work of this. There it is.
Sir, yes, sir. We're under fire! New call, sir. Imperial Guard, attack! Standing by. Attack! Following orders. Attack! Standing by. Attack! Standing by. Attack! Objective secured. What now? Sir, yes, sir. Take the objective. Leave it overrun!
Might want to start putting actual defenses in this area. Okay, well, first.
A challenge
Leave it
worthy of my
overrun! Standing
skill.
ready.
Alright, that commissar. No.
Into the fray! Attack! We're under fire! Leave it overrun! Objective secured. What now? Sir, yes, sir. Executing your orders, sir. Standing by. Standing by. Following orders. Attack! Standing by.
I need to get
We're under fire! Following orders.
to destroy the actual building.
Standing by. Following orders. Attack!
Luckily, the AI on normal doesn't go after the actual important buildings. It keeps trying to go after the HQ. Even though I've actually got that place defended. Doesn't mean they can't take it. In fact, if I wasn't leaving the reinforcements building up back there, I'm pretty sure I would have already lost the base.
Sir, yes, sir.
Lack of paying attention.
It will only take me a moment.
I'm trying.
A challenge worthy of my skill.
Get everything else. Build up defenses.
It will only take me a moment.
Objective secured. Nothing must break through the forward line. Build turrets to bolster our defenses and reinforce the forward line with more firepower.
You called, sir. New code, sir. New code, sir. Standing by.
Alright, I blew it up.
Following orders. Following orders.
We're under fire! 2 arms!
Standing by. Following orders. Standing by. Following orders. Following orders. Standing by. Following orders. Standing by. Attack! Following orders. Attack!
There we go.
We're under
Following
fire!
orders. Attack!
New code, sir. New code, sir. I shall see to it personally, sir. We're under fire!
Standing by.
We're under fire!
Standing by. Following orders. Following orders.
Main crux right now is taking out any of the buildings that keep producing.
Attack!
Objective secured. What now? New code, sir. 2 arms! New code, sir. New code, sir. New code, sir.
Standing by.
Look at that.
Following orders.
Hopefully get here before they finish destroying that.
New code, sir. I shall see to it personally. New code, sir.
I might not send them in just yet. Well, actually, I might. Actually, I probably should.
New code, sir. 2 arms!
Standing by. Standing by. Following orders.
We're under fire!
And even a regular Chaos Force
New code, sir.
can actually put up a pretty decent fight.
2 arms!
Standing by.
Obviously, I have the problem that I gave most of these guys the anti-crowd weapon, which works well against the cultists, but it's not so effective against these guys. These guys are actually doing a better job because they've got the weapon for those enemies. I believe this one's also.
We've located a drop zone large enough to accommodate the delivery of heavy armor. Prepare to scour the target site of the Emperor's enemies and secure it for inbound transports. To arms!
Actually, kind of curious. How do these guys do? Actually, no, I do not.
Sir, yes, sir. Imperial Guard, attack! New code, sir. To arms!
Dude, they're actually doing pretty well. Huh.
Sir, yes, sir.
Yeah, my problem is I need to diversify the both groups.
New code, sir.
I gave everyone at the start the mortar.
I shall see to it personally, sir. New code, sir. New code, sir. I shall see to it personally, sir. Objective secured. What now? Sir, yes, sir. Executing your orders, sir. Objective secured. Sir, yes, sir. What now? Executing your orders, sir. Sir, yes, sir.
Okay, so first one we'll need to move these guys
New code, sir.
as a group. Try to get them. I'll put them to go across to this one.
To arms! New code, sir. New code, sir.
I'll send these guys
I
back,
shall see to it personally, sir.
just in case I still need them to defend it.
Standing by.
I'll send them
Attack!
to the fourth one. If they get into trouble, I'll send them quickly back to. In the meantime, probably build a few more in case I lose the ones I have.
It will only take me a moment.
Hellhound here, at your service.
And I don't really need it.
A challenge worthy of my skill. It will only take me a moment. Of course.
These guys will probably destroy theirs first. And when that happens, the AI gives me control of the turrets. Well, sort of. The turrets start fighting on our behalf, and then they take care of.
New code, sir. I
Okay,
shall see to it personally.
now that they're
sir.
done.
To arms!
Now that
To arms! Standing by. Following
the
orders.
big strategy is to let the Imperial Guard mop up. Well, the two vehicles.
New code, sir. Take the objective. New code, sir. Take the objective. Standing by. Following orders.
See if I can destroy the other. If there's any other vehicle.
We're under fire. Following orders.
They're being attacked by mortars from the air. So you can't see them at this point, but there's actually a...
Objective secured. What now?
Yeah, you can see the effects. We're being fired at from the other side of the gate and the map. But we can't punch through it, and
Objective secured.
they're trying very hard to destroy this stupid thing.
We cannot survive this barrage much longer.
The demon gate is protected by the foul workings of the warp.
It's reinforced
We
with
cannot
corpses.
overcome it quickly. Then all is
What
lost.
The Imperials falter in
Chaos.
their opening steps. Far sooner than I would have liked.
Rude.
Typical of them.
Extra
Sadly, we
rude.
must intervene on their behalf. Isha's tears. 4 generators channel power to the so-called Demon Gate. If we are to help these Imperials, we must destroy the 4 generators first. Fortunately, we can use our webway gates to reach impassable areas and to bypass the Imperial presence. They'll never know it was we who helped them.
So this is where the Eldar joined the fight. And this actually shows a bit of a contrast in both in playstyle but also in mentality.
I am needed elsewhere. Take me.
And then
We are taking damage.
Here at last. My powers are yours now.
here,
My powers are yours now. My powers are yours now.
so there's the Farseer, which is their main champion. These are mostly melee units, Seer Council, but they're very, they're very competent against most enemies. And they've also got a small Dark Reaper group, which are
Now our paths cross our enemy.
mainly the guns. They've got really good guns. If I recall, these are the guys who they used to ambush us in the first mission against the Eldar in the Dawn of War campaign. That thing blows up and
We are needed elsewhere to direct the course of this battle.
direct. So I mean, what the difference in mentality is, the Imperial Guard kind of go into this operating, like a military operation, and they go at it like a hammer, symbolically speaking. That is the big one, so probably go after these guys first.
We are taking damage.
My powers
Oh, of course you are.
yours now.
Blast the cultist. Wait, I think that was the really weak one. There we go, that's better. The other one was for more tanky units.
Now our paths cross our
So
enemy.
the Imperial Guard saw this, they have a mission, take this place. And so they go at it like a hammer. Full force, they literally just drop troops into this planet. They keep giving me reinforcements just to make sure that
We are
I
needed
actually
elsewhere to
complete
direct
this
the
job.
course of this battle.
Now with the Eldar, for recent stuff, their backstory been just, to make them distinct against in contrast to the Imperial Guard. The Eldar treat this more like a special ops. They're being sneaky, they're being clever, and and obviously they're letting,
Damage.
deliberately or not, they're letting the Imperial Guard take the brunt of the problem,
Powers are yours now.
and they're clever enough to do this from. So now I'm dropping. That's her big attack. Literally casting a lightning storm on him. Might have lost one dude over that though.
Now our paths cross.
Now something I pointed out was that the Imperial Guard, they can get their stats boosted, but in general they're barely, moderate weak units because they make up for it with numbers and weaponry. You need to give them better armor and better weapons in order to make them more effective against tougher units like these guys, the Chaos.
Now our paths.
The Eldar don't actually have that problem. Like you'll see, obviously I'm on low difficulty, but this is actually meant to be done with these few units because the Eldar compensate for a lack of numbers with a higher degree of skill and weaponry. Now, in universe, that's not really the reason. Like the Eldar are just they just have better fighters and they are better equipped. It's just that they are then nerfed retroactively by having fewer people that they can rely on. In contrast to the Imperium of Man that has good weaponry, but tech is inferior to the Eldar overall. But
the 4 generators are destroyed. That is indeed joyous news. Be quick, however. The Imperials would neither understand nor appreciate our intervention were they to discover our presence. We must reach the sorcerer orchestrating this attack. My powers but tell the warriors now that I and I alone will dispense
to direct the course of this battle.
So they are going at this in a much more clever, sneaky sort of way. Simply because it's more, for them, it's more effective to do so.
We are ready.
We are taking damage.
My powers are yours now. My powers are yours.
Just wanted to give them a bit of a hand with that.
Follow my kin.
Like I said, especially on normal, these guys should be able to handle most of this. You don't have to worry about the artillery.
We fight because we must.
I'm gonna let the two of them duke this out. Stop agitating the artillery.
Now our paths cross our enemies.
So I just let them do the mop up.
Fear the judgment of the council. Our concentration is impaired. Retreat! Our minds are at your service. Let us play our part.
Yeah, they can still be overwhelmed. It's not,
Now our paths
especially since they have fewer numbers. But
our minds are clear again.
you can get them to work together and to focus on the actual opponents that they can defeat.
Now our paths cross our enemies. We walk our path. Now our paths cross our enemies.
So these guys are pretty mid-tier 1. I'm guessing this fight would be a lot more close cut in harder difficulties, and you'd have to actually make use of the skills and stuff.
Let us play our part. We go.
Okay, that's enough of that.
Concentration is impaired.
I'm aware.
Retreat.
Great. Lost one of the units. Well, actually, I don't think I lost them. I think they went. Yeah, they went into the portal. Good.
My powers are yours now.
Our minds are clear again. Regroup.
This will help. It's also very lucky that these things don't actually react. I feel like these are here either to make it, on harder difficulties they trigger, but
We are taking damage.
at least on this difficulty they don't. Wonder if I can... I'll make it easier for them on when the Imperial Guard have to get here. How much damage does that do? Not really any damage. I guess that's... And we're done. Okay. So now, conveniently, at least from their perspective, well, I don't think for the Imperial Guard getting bombed for the last, 10 minutes
I shall see to it personally.
is something they would consider lucky. To finally just, oh hey, it stopped, finally.
We're under fire! Standing by. Standing by. Standing by. Standing by. Standing by. Standing by. Standing by.
Right, the only,
Two arms! Standing by.
if I can get, did I lose the other two to the blast?
Standing by.
No, apparently they're supposed to be somewhere around here. Oh, they got sent back here for some... Maybe they respawned. Well, they're probably not gonna get here in time to help, but... So yeah, these were, in case it wasn't clear, these were the guys who were bombing us from across the gate while we were... You can actually see in the mini, small map, you can see the 3 dots running towards here. Fortunately, these guys are stuck in artillery animation and they're not running towards us to get in close with their claws. Because in melee, they would devastate the Imperial Guard. And I'm pretty sure they could wreck the vehicles too. Keep moving. There we go. Once again, I don't know if this is a simple result of it being on the lowest difficulty, or if it's just done because it's the first mission, so they want to make it somewhat easier for the player. That takes care of that.
We have won, but the cost was high. Hundreds dead, thousands wounded. I have the numbers here if you wish.
We will mourn the dead later while the wounded can still fight. Regardless, we have our foothold and the soldiers left are more than enough to secure the Titan. Still, I wonder, why did the Demon Gate collapse? Whose fortune was that?
The fortune of chaos, General Stern. Such is the folly of consorting with evil. The Emperor was smiling down upon us today, General. I'm certain of it.
Only fools are certain, Commissar. And the day's not yet won. There's more to come. But what awaits us? I'm not sure.
So that'll be in the next mission, but it's already a sign of like the inversion of fortunes, that the way they want to present the Imperial Guard in this campaign as in comparison to the one in Dawn of War, where like the very first mission in Dawn of War, you're showing up as the Blood Ravens to rescue an Imperial Guard group, and then proceed to one-up them in almost every other mission. You know, if they're, rarely if they're even present, it's usually for the Space Marines to look better than them by comparison, as they get mowed down by units that you then have to defeat. Here, you can see they switch it up by first having you go up against the Chaos Space Marines and actually winning, albeit, with a bit of struggle. And now they hint at it with the implication that we're gonna have to go and quote-unquote save a Space Marine chapter group. Not the whole chapter, that'd be insane. But anyway, point is, and obviously it leaves a bit of interesting mystery and, a plot for it, with the Eldar showing up, helping us, and then immediately disappearing. They're leaving the question up in the air for people who do know what the Eldar are, from 40k, so they're curious to see what's the point of this plot. And in the case of me, who, only knew them from the first Dawn of War, I was like, oh, so this time they're not attacking them first, they're actually helping them. And so, it's interesting to see where it went. So, I hope to see you all in the next one. We'll probably, still haven't decided if I'm gonna switch back and forth between this and the Disorder campaign, or if I want to go through the Horde 1 campaign first and then move on to the next one. But you'll probably find out soon enough. And until then, see you in the next one.